How are you, everyone? How are you? What's it like to be you today? What's what's here in the foreground? What are your what thoughts arise? What are your parts? What's the narrative that's here now? Is it, oh, what's your narrative? Like, where are we going today? What's going to happen? Am I going to get what I want? As Rob mentioned, fun. Is it going to be fun today? Who's this old friend of Sid's, Harold? I'm tired. My back hurts. What's here? What are your thoughts? What are your sensations? And what are they all arising in? What's the flavor of beingness, of self that's here? What's your loudest flavor for each of us right now of this beingness? And where do you find it? Is it in my heart? Is it in my body? Is it the space around me? Or is it without boundaries? It just is. Is there is there stillness here? Or what's most like stillness? Is there openness here? Can you find in this beingness that we are a sense of welcoming, this that welcomes? What's it like to be open, welcoming? Just for the next 2 minutes, let's just have a loving indifference to everything that's arising as we sink into our flavors of beingness, of self together. As you're with 11 of us right here, right now, is there connectedness? What's most like a sense of connection, perhaps even unity that's here? And Leslie, what about love? People say this beingness is love. What's most like love that's here? Can you find that what is here, the music of love? So we're going to dance in three views today, which is kind of what we always do. This first one is just coming back and resting as self. So as we rest here as this beingness, and then Rob's going to be taking us into the third one. This first one, resting here as beingness. As we all rest here, what's your word? What's the loudest word descriptive for you of this beingness, of this isness, of the self? What's the loudest for you? And as we sink into that a little further together, can this be like an infinite hot tub? And then from here, can we become aware of, like, what's the loudest voice that you hear inside of you? What's the loudest thought? What's the loudest part? And as you hear that, can it be welcomed here? Whatever this beingness is, can you just welcome that? And notice, where is that voice, that part? Where do you hear it? Where do you feel it? Is it in front of you? Is it in your belly? It's a location. And then what's the next loudest one that you hear? What's the next loudest voice that you hear? Oh, how much longer is Sid going to do this? What's Rob going to do? What are we doing today? I'm tired. What's the next loudest thought? And then can you be aware of that as well? Can you welcome that as well? Can you be aware of both of these arising simultaneously? How do you do that? Does the system zoom out? Does it open up? How does that happen? Can everything be welcomed here now? So here in both these views, we're playing in duality. This view, as we all rest as this beingness, we just welcome everything that arises, but there's some distance from them. In the first view, we just rest as self. Now my friend Rob is going to take us into when it's all self, it's all beingness. There's nothing but this awareness. Take it away, Rob.
Yeah, the way I like to start off talking about this, and that was beautiful, by the way, Sid. I felt the relaxation, the peace. I felt like the whole energy, everything settle, and there was this kind of like united feeling. It's like ease. That's really what our beingness is. It's like this ease of being. It's like this awake awareness, that's always here. It's always shining right here in the background. It's almost like this pierce view of awareness, this all encompassing, pierce view of awareness, where all views, all points of views settle into it and become it because there is no separation. There's no separation between awareness and anything in the appearance that appears, even though the description may come, the mind may come and label it. But there's a clear seeing that all is welcome, all thoughts, all points of views are welcomed in this awake awareness, in this pure view of awareness that's here. So there is really no independent aliveness or independent reality outside of awareness. So anything that appears, that feels like it's appearing within this open space of beingness, is all awareness. There is no separation from it. The substance of it is awareness itself. And that's what you are. That's what we all are. We all are this one pure view of awareness, this awake awareness. And we can see it in our direct experience because words don't really teach. It's seeing it in your own direct experience. And the easiest way to do that, and you would think that it would be easy for people to realize what they are and to feel this perfume of peace that's always here in the background, no matter what's happening in the human experience. And for the human experience, everything that's happening in the human experience to be seen as equal, that there's nothing that's more good or bad. And you would think that, and you would know that this awake awareness, you know, the good and bad arise within it. So it's above it, it's underneath it, it's everywhere. And so the way to do that really simply is just to ask yourself in your direct experience, am I aware? And when you pause in the space between the words, it comes automatically, doesn't it? When you ask, am I aware? it's right there. It's vivid. It's like a clear knowing of it. It's like a inner conviction that you have that you know automatically. It's like your intuition that's within you is revealing it to you automatically. You don't need me or another teacher or someone else or a guru or any of those things for you to realize that. We're all equal. We all have this in our direct experience. We all are that one beingness. There's no hierarchy. There's no going somewhere to get it. I live in Pennsylvania. I don't need to go to India to get to Pennsylvania. I'm already in Pennsylvania. I'm already here. You are already awake. You are already aware. It's the simplicity, it's the immediacy of this awake awareness, this immediate perception. When I say awake awareness, are you awake? Boom. It's that immediacy of it, the wholeness of it, the completeness of it, the knowingness that it's not broke. There's nothing to fix. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do but rest. And we're all of us right here, right now, are resting as this infinite being, as this effortless being. And these are all words just pointing you to in your direct experience, because even words don't teach. Words are empty in of themselves. They're only the meaning that consciousness wants to give to it. And when consciousness or awareness grabs onto a point of view, it holds it really, really tight. And that's where the suffering comes in. That's where the stress comes in. That's where the human experience, becomes stressful or anxiety or some of the negative emotions that are felt in the body. But when it's seen that you are the awake awareness, you are the pure view of the formless awareness, the all-encompassing awareness that encompasses everything that appears, whether it's thoughts, emotions, feelings, sensations in the body. When consciousness or the awareness itself eases up on that point of view, it opens up, becomes open and expansive and all allowing, then you can feel that perfume of peace that's always here. Everything feels united. It's like unity consciousness. Everything is whole and complete within it. No matter what arises is not a problem, because there's a knowing that whatever arises is not separated from awareness itself, that it is awareness. It is what you are. So everything arising is you, and the mind or the thoughts or the descriptions come in and may say something different, but it's
Let me
becoming that
check in.
resting as this imperturbable peace, seeing it as that.
Let me check in with everyone. This is a lot. This is part of the play today to invite a voice of just that only sees this, that only sees this imperturbable being, this unity in my friend Rob Rube today. But I just want to check with our systems because we're all celebrating here. And as always, this is only about you. This is a celebration for everything that arises in you. Everything. And we're fascinated and intrigued by your system. So as Rob says this and speaks of what he sees, this man's my brother, and in this, and that he only sees this. Rob only sees radiance. He's at a place, whatever happened, he only sees the beauty of what is. And but just to notice, I'm curious what came up for you. What was it like for your parts as Rob spoke of this? And was there a spiritual achiever that said something needed to be different? Oh, what he's saying, I like that, or I don't like that so much, or just notice the parts that responded to him inside of you. And this is what we always play with. And any of you could have done what he just did, could have spoke of the third view, could have spoke of it's all beingness. Because, often we hear Goli and Raymond and Haneen just speaking out, speaking the same place, the same thing. So what's it like? What's going on inside? But before we dive in a little further, let me just do my housekeeping that I always do. That I'm a mediator. I'm not a psychotherapist. If everybody's good, being responsible for their journeys today, can I get a thumbs up from you? And secondly, thank you. I've got the recording on, but only my image or mine and Rob's image would ever be shared, never yours. But this recording could be shared if everybody's good with that. And also, if you ever want to pause, you just let me know, and I make you a co-host. If everybody's good with that, if I can get a thumbs up. And as always, you can hang on afterwards and let me know if you didn't like something and want it deleted. So, so here we are today, and some of the play might be just in this dance between Rob's perspective and what's arising in us and our parts, because here we're a celebration of everything that arises. So, what's it like inside of you now? How are you? What did you find? Here's my question, and we'll go around and we'll hear from everybody. The first question is, what is that loudest quality of beingness that's here for you? When we went in, what did you find? What's your background? What is that word for you? Like, is it stillness? Is it peace? Is it unity? Is it connectedness? Is it love? Is it openness? Is it emptiness? What's your word for this? And just to open this up, why don't we go around and just hear a word from everybody, and then we'll like open it up and play more. And Rob, you want to start us off with your word?
Awareness. Cause I really feel like when we were talking, and I think it's a word that everyone can understand. It's just like this peer view of awareness. So awareness would be my word.
Great. And it's just we'll go around. I'll just go in the order. I go Vendor, John, Goalie, Jenny, Andrew, Harold, Haneen, Jack, Abby, and Raymond. Ready? Vendor, what's your word?
Um, Stillness, peace,
Thank
and it
you.
sounds like it's the ocean, kind of like we're all one. Like when you were saying how the group feels, the unity, just oneness, an
Beautiful.
ocean.
What about that for all of us? When Vendor says it's just the ocean, the oneness of the ocean, what's that most, what's most like that in your system? Can you find that? How does that play in you? John, what's your word?
Uh, space, wordless space, wordless space.
Wordless space. How does how does that feel in each of us? Wordless space. What's that like? What's most like wordless space in you and each of us? Is that different than the oneness of the ocean? Wordless space. Goalie!
All of the above and
Mhm.
aliveness,
Mhm.
which is not dependent on anything.
Thank you. Aliveness. It's not dependent on
Good job, bud.
aliveness. What's that like in each of us? And how is that different than the stillness of the ocean and wordless space? Aliveness. Aliveness. Thanks, goalie. Jenny.
Stillness and openness.
Thank you. Stillness. Open stillness.
Hmm.
How does that appear in you? What is that like in you? And goalie's word aliveness. Is there aliveness in the stillness? Is there aliveness in the stillness? Thank you, Jenny. Andrew.
Curiosity.
Curiosity. How does that play? Curiosity. But can we find two curiosities? A lowercase curiosity, a curiosity that has to do with situations and experience, and an uppercase C curiosity that just is causeless curiosity that's always here. What's most like that inside of you? What's it like to be the space of curiosity? Harold.
Silence.
Silent. And notice with your parts, do they like this? Silence. Finally, that's what we wanted. Silence. Or your parts, no, no, I like the curiosity. I like the sense of being something that's curious about me. What does your system prefer to be met by? What does your system prefer? What do your parts prefer? Or is it more Rob's, this awareness that's here? They just love the awareness. What do you like to be met by? Thank you, Harold. Haneen.
I can find them all, but I think I would also say silence and aliveness.
Silence and aliveness. How does your system make sense of that? Everyone, can you find the and? Silence and aliveness. How's that different as the nature of this beingness, this that doesn't come and go? Thanks, Haneen. Jack, what's your word?
It's hard to use just one word, but it's awareness without any subject or object. Awareness with no separation. Sometimes awareness has sort of a feeling of, oh, there's something that's aware, right? There has to be something aware for the awareness, but it's without any of that going on. So is there a word for that? Yeah, but I'd have to just define the word for you. But yeah.
Let's see what everybody's word for it. What's your, for us all, when we hear Jack say that, like, what's your word for it? Awareness without a subject and an object. And maybe there's not a word, maybe it's just a feel of it and knowing. Awareness with awareness. Awareness. What's that like? What's that like in you without a subject and an object? Harold's like, duh, this is just what's here. It's what's true. What's it like to be that? And we're gonna let Rob's gonna riff on all this in a couple minutes. What's that like? All right. Abby, who we haven't seen in a year, what's your word?
Spaciousness.
Spaciousness. What's it like to go from awareness without a subject and an object to spaciousness? Are they the same, or is it different inside of you? What's the somatic experience of spaciousness? And how do you know that spaciousness is here? What's the sensation of it? What's the vibration? Is there a bliss with it, an aliveness? What's it like to be spaciousness? Thank you. And for our finale, what you got for us, Raymond?
So all of the above, and two essentials for me, love and trust.
Trust. How does that play in each of our systems? Trust. What does that mean to you in this game? Trust. Is it the same as surrender? Is it different? Trust. Is it your parts that are trusting this beingness? Do your parts trust that this is always here? It's like, do your parts trust that love is always here? And how does love compare to Abby's spaciousness in you? Love, spaciousness, or is love in there? Is love intrinsic in all these words that we've used? The silence, the stillness. Is love intrinsic in that? And just before we go a little further, I say this is new for me. We've never done this before. I've never had a guest come in as my and I don't know if you all have seen any videos of Rob Rug. We became friends a couple months ago, and we're going to be doing at least one large presentation together and some other things. And so there's a gift to me in kind of playing in the space together where Rob and I get to feel out how do we best complement each other? How do we best complement each other as we're being with people? And I would love your thoughts on this. Maybe afterwards, if anybody has thoughts, if you'd write me on how Rob and I, and it's a little strange that he's stepping into this group of ours because we have this regular format, and it's a little different than other groups where this group is all about you guys. It's like a celebration of everybody's system, and I try to have time where we can go around and literally hear more from everybody. So it's a little tricky with having Rob as a co-host today and how to figure this out. And I'd love to hear a little bit more. I'd like to see what comes up from Rob as he kind of observed us all going around. And then most of I want to go then to each of us and hear what came up for you when we were doing our little drop-in and Rob shared and I shared, or to hear what's here for you, because it's just a celebration of what's alive for you. It could be like, oh, John might be like, yeah, those are nice words you and Rob say, but like, hey, I'm stuck in like, how am I going to handle this situation with my friend? And he's, and everything's welcomed here. So let's hear from Rob. Let's see what's going on with Rob, and then we'll go around and hear from everybody. Rob, what's going on? What's it like being here?
It was great. I'm not used to this format, but it was awesome. I loved hearing everybody express themselves. Everybody was authentic and really expressing from their hearts. And what came up for me is just the different flavors of awareness or the infinite being or effortless being or, love, like all the different words people were using, the stillness, the expansiveness. And it was like when they were all saying it, it was like it was pointing to the same thing that I'm seeing here, that I'm experiencing here. It's like we all have these words for it that, as your term in our systems, it points to what this is, our true nature. And it really it really reminded me how simple it is. Like we use all these words to point to it, but the words can only get you so far. It's almost like the words are the pointers, and then once you see what this is, it's like the words drop away, and then it becomes this rest. It's almost like you're resting in this beingness or this effortless being because it's already here, it's already whole, it's complete, and it feels like that's when the seeking ends, when you can just rest in that. And it's no longer like searching or seeking anymore for anything. It's like you're resting as it. And then as that rest, it even goes into your everyday life. There's like an ease to it because there's always in every life experience, this awareness that's always here or this stillness or whatever words you want to, that you've picked to use. And so there becomes this rest, this restfulness that's always here. But it was great hearing everybody express what it is. It sounds like we're all talking about the same thing and we're all united, in unity consciousness. And when someone said silence, the way that spoke to me was, and this happens a lot too when I'm doing my mirror calls, when I have calls with people, is that a lot of people call me and they book calls with me to talk about self-realization and, what discovering their true nature, or they're wanting to integrate, this realization, into their everyday life. And a lot of times when they call, I just kind of like hold that space for them. And that one word that someone said, stillness, a lot of times on those calls, we'll just be talking like this, how we're all going around talking. And then we'll just all just drop into silence. And sometimes, when you drop into that silence, it could go on for like 5-10 minutes. It's almost like, and you don't even realize it. Like, it's like when we're all dropping into that silence, there's this feeling of unity. There's not a feeling of, this person has it or that one doesn't, or I don't have it. It's just like this felt experience of unity. Like we're all sitting here in this one space of beingness together in the silence. And then the words come up and then the words appear. And then the description comes up and wants to give, meaning to them. But we can all just sit here and rest as this awareness imperturbably, not being disturbed by anything in the appearance, realizing that the appearance is part of us and that it's not inseparable. It doesn't have a separate nature, apart from us. It is us. And so I don't know, there was just that feeling of peace and rest. And I really did love when we had the silence. It really felt, the unity of everybody and the love. And then love came up. Somebody said love. Love. When I think of love and I think of awareness, I think of it as unconditional love because it allows all points of view. Everything's allowed. There's no judgment. Everything's welcome here because everything's seen as awareness. So we don't push anything away. Everything is welcome. It's just that it all comes up equally. It's not given more importance than something else. The mind likes to label the dynamic energy. Some of it is negative, some of it is positive, some of it is good, some of it is bad, but it's really just one dynamic energy, which is awareness playing in this open space of beingness the whole time. And when you know that, no matter what labels the mind's putting on it or what you're identifying with, even, we talk about identifying with the separate person. And a lot of people call me about that too. Like I'm identified And I did that too. When you only realize you're just identified as this separate person, you're alienated, like you're here and the world's out there. Someone mentioned subject object. You have that subject object mode, then you feel like anything can happen to you. So you live in that fear, in that separation. But once that dissolves and you realize the background of peace that's always here, the consciousness that's always here, then you can kind of see the character playing out, but it's not as serious. You're not living in that fear. It's just like, it almost becomes like a play or like a
Yeah.
movie that's playing.
So I just want to check with us because as we're
Yeah.
hearing, because we've got Rob speaking of and from this place where everything is this unity, there is no subject object. But as always in our group, we're celebrating whatever's arising in each of us. And there is no, like, there might be a spiritual achiever that says, like, gosh, I'm not sure I can follow what he's saying, or I don't like it. It's not how it's coming up in mind. Great. We're celebrating each of our systems. And so there is no place that we're going. I mean, Rob's speaking from the place of Dorothy, you don't have to follow the yellow brick road. Home is here. You are home. You are beautiful. You are radiant presence. I'd love to hear what's bubbling. Who wants to go first? How are you? What's happening? How's this been so far? What parts are loud? What's going on? Who wants to share? Raymond!
Yeah, thanks for that, Rob. That was a lovely summation. Sid, I'm very interested more recently because we talk about silence and stillness. We all know this, okay? But words are very important. I only understood about self-realization through words. Lots of people that I meet are suffering in silence, and the way that they are loved back to life is through words. So words are how love is communicated in one way, and it's very powerful. Words are very powerful. The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it eat its fruit.
Yes, but let me pause for just a minute here because we're hearing the words. Can we also hear the music? Are we feeling Raymond's music beneath his words?
So let me finish with this, because that sounds a bit serious. And when yourself and Rob were doing this, all I could hear was Bob Marley singing, I want to love you and treat you right. I want to love you every day and
Love
every
it.
night.
I
We'll
love
be together. Is
it.
this love? Is this love? Is this love? Yes, this is love.
Thank
Love it.
you. Thank you, Raymond. So how are our parts doing? How are our parts responding to all of this? It's like, wait a minute, but this isn't what I can. I want to talk about I'm having some tension today. I'm not so happy. My partner said something mean to me. How are we doing? How are you? And also we've only got like 57 minutes and would love to get to everybody. This is we usually lock the room in a smaller group than today. So we want to keep going around. Raymond, any final words? Thank you. What's here? How are you? What do you notice? What parts are here? And is it okay that what's arising is arising? Is everything welcomed? Or is something not welcomed?
Sid, I think everybody's at peace and rest. They're all feeling whole and complete and settled. They realize they're already whole. They're already happy. They're feeling restful. There's an okayness with whatever's happening in the appearance. The seriousness of whatever's happening in the human experience isn't taken on the same seriousness as it did before because they realize they know what they are. Consciousness already knows what it is. speaking directly to consciousness itself. We're not speaking to the separate person. Separate person can be here as the illusion that we see and play.
But what's so fun, Rob, is when the separate person comes up when it's like, yes, but my back hurts, but like I don't want to go to work today. And then that one gets to be celebrated, and we get to celebrate that too.
Yeah, it's equal to having a great day or having a bad day. It's just there's really no substance to the thoughts unless we give it. You know, the thoughts are like invitations that are coming in, like an invitation to a party. We can choose to open the invitation and give it attention and give it energy and play with it, or we can just let it rest right here in this space of beingness. It can just rest right here. And what's interesting about consciousness and awareness too is as stuff appears and as it comes in, it always resolves itself. You know, it's like nothing we need to do to like process it or fix it. It's just a matter of resting it and letting it be there and just noticing it. And you see, when you just notice it in love and compassion, it just kind of resolves itself and it collapses right back into the pure awareness that we all are.
Well,
So
let's
there's a
check in.
relaxation in knowing that, of peace.
Let's check in with that, with what Rob just said. Like, how's this really playing for each of us? Vinder, was that your thumb?
Yes. Is it okay if I say something?
Yes. And then I want to
Okay.
keep going around. I want to make sure we hear from everybody
Um,
with this, and we'll all reply as we go. What you got, Vinder?
what Rob was just saying, everything's okay. Last week, I don't know what I was processing. Suddenly, I don't know if it was the heat, what it was going. I was just felt so sluggish, didn't want to do anything. And normally, I wanted to have a strong cup of tea so it gives me energy, or do some breath work that gives me energy. But that whole day, and from morning until uh, late afternoon, like about 5 o'clock, I just laid on the sofa. And the next thing I know, I was trying to be welcome, just be with it.
Yeah.
And, all of a sudden I had the energy because my doer part wants to be productive. You're wasting a day. There was those messages coming.
Let me pause for just a minute, Vinder, just so everybody's involved here. As we hear Vinder share, wow, from when I woke up to 5 p.m., I laid on the couch. And if we hear Vinder start talking about what's going on here, the sluggishness, how are you responding to her? What's it like in you? Is there a sense, do you have a part saying, I know that too, I do the same thing, I wish I don't do that? What's coming up? What's arising? And are you seeing, like I use my friend Rob as an example. He does this thing called mirror sessions where he just reflects the beauty back. Whatever's here, all he sees is the radiance in the person. With Vinder here, are you seeing that in her? Are you are you seeing this beauty in our friend? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And as she speaks about, but she stayed on the couch all day. Are you seeing the innocence of that? Like what's responding in your system to Vinder as she speaks? This is a participatory game. We're all in this together. And we don't want to miss a moment of Vinder. Like, what's it like in you as she shares? Tell us a little more, Vinder.
I think just allowing it. I was kind of watching myself, my parts, kind of witnessing my parts. I mean, I don't think in my life, other than my chronic fatigue syndrome in '94, this time I just allowed it, and then suddenly, I said, I'm just gonna go outside, visit my parents, and the energy was there, and felt like it's gonna be, is it gonna end? Just watching and welcoming. I wasn't pushing it away. There was a resistance. I did try to map the parts. There was a resistance.
So let's check in about this. What Vinder's describing, like sluggish, sitting on the couch and not doing anything all day. Can we all find that in us? This time when we do that. Oh, we're sitting on the couch all day. Can we also find a part that might come up and say, what the hell are you doing? You're supposed to be working. You're supposed to be with your wife. You're supposed to be out doing this. A critic part. And then can we find what Vender's pointing to? Can we find this allowance in us? This that welcomes, this that loves what's happening inside of us. Can we allow that in us just as Vender allows it in herself? Can we welcome it and love it? Abby's like, yeah, I'm not sure I can find that.
Mhm.
Can we find, are we able to find this in our systems, what Vender's pointing to as she's facilitating us? Can we find that in our own systems? And what's it like when we're sluggish, sitting on the couch all day, maybe eating pizza? Part says you're really messing up, you're blowing it, and then something in you even welcomes that. What's that like to find that love, that allowance inside, to feel that? Any kind of final thoughts on this, Vender?
I have gratitude for that part because with that part, because it was an experiential exercise God gave me. The judgment part, when I, I, you know, my judgment part to the external world, kind of, the intensity wasn't there. Like, when one of my female family member would sleep until 1 o'clock in the afternoon with two kids, old me would say, as a mother, how do you do that?
Yeah.
You know, so my judgment part kind of mellowed a bit.
Kind of mellowed. Just lastly, as we hear her judgment part, how can you sleep all day? How do you do this? Can we all find it in our own system, part that judges us? And can we see the innocence of that? Can we see the radiance of that aspect of us that judges? Can even that be accepted and loved? Thank you, Vender. Anything come up in you, Rob, before we go to John?
No, I could see the innocence and the beauty in that expression, the way that consciousness was expressing itself, and how there was all this acceptance of whatever was happening in the system was being accepted with love and compassion. And when there was that love and compassion for it, it kind of just settled out, and then you could see it transition, consciousness transition right back into joy and went on to the next thing. How it all just, you know, it all just took care of itself effortlessly with ease. There was nothing that really needed to be done. It just kind of was just a matter of just noticing it and welcoming that emotion and accepting it. And sometimes those things happen, not even just like on a mental level, but it just happens naturally sometimes, even without even giving much conscious thought to it. It kind of just becomes to a point where it's just like, it's just flowing that way. So I just thought it was beautiful the way that it was, consciousness was expressing there, and you could see the beauty in it.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. And now we're going to go, before we go to John, how is everybody? This is different than anything we've ever done. This is and with this group. Just notice, how are you? What parts are coming up? Oh, I wish it was different. I like something else better. I want it to be this way. Just notice whatever's arising. And is it a problem that those voices are here? Can that all be welcomed and included in your inner symphony? Can we enjoy that? And then anything that's wanting to be said is so welcomed. Just how are you before we go to John? And then as we look at John, what do we think's going on with John? What's his loudest part? What's the background of beingness that's here now in John? What's going on in my friend? John, how are you doing? What's happening?
Um, I uh I don't want, there's a part that doesn't want to like figure out something to say. Like it doesn't want to have to make sense,
Right.
like my experience. It's like, can I just listen to Rob? Can I just get a little more Rob transmission for a while and sit here in the silence? That felt good. Yeah.
Yes, of course. Everything is welcome. Everything's a point of view in this. Sometimes the silence itself, Sid, like we talked about earlier, the silence itself, the resting in that. And there's that feeling of peace and unity that is sensed here on this call that we're all just kind of just resting into. And it comes to a point, even like when the questions or even the descriptions slow down a little bit, because previous to that, we were so identified with these descriptions and having to process them and think about them. And now what we're seeing is that it can all just flow naturally. Those things can flow naturally. We have a choice. We don't have to give so much attention to everything or make something more important than something else. because all of our parts are welcome equally. There's like a love in the equalness of everything, and not so much importance on one thing, but all is included equally in this space.
Everything, everything. How about that, John? So what do you find?
Yes.
It's like, yes, I love this. And you have some things like, nah, that's bullshit. What's it like there?
Uh, it, it it's yeah, it's like hard to put the words. It feels good. Um I don't want to have to, I don't want to, it's like I
No
put
words. Let
distance of
everybody feel
making
you. Can
sense.
everybody, just as we play the game with the tuning fork, John often takes me to a place of bliss. What do you notice? How do you resonate? What's he showing you? What's he giving us now as we tune into John, as we feel John, as we get to know this flavor of beingness through him? Give us a couple more words, John.
I don't um it it's like very wavy. There's such a nice field on this call. It just feels very warm and like a little blissful and ecstatic and mm,
Mm,
feel like I can like get lost in it a little bit.
yay.
Mm.
Love that. Feel that flow. Feel that energy, that oneness, that connection there.
And this warm, blissful ecstasy that John's speaking of. Are we able to, what's most like that in each of us? And then do our parts like this? Is it like, oh, I like this even better than silence? Do our parts like this? What's this like for you? And you don't even have to use the parts language. It can just be, do you like this? As you rest in this warm, blissful, ecstatic sense. Is it nice? What's it like to rest in that, to be held in that?
Mm.
Gosh, thank you, John. Listen, because we're gonna pop over from pop over to goalie and see how this is playing in her. How's life moving in goalie? What's here?
I love John's space now. I like to rest in that for now. Thank you. Thank you.
Goalie's like, never mind. I just want John's warm, blissful ecstasy. How are we doing with that? What's your version of it for all of us? Warm, blissful ecstasy. And do you let yourself rest in it? Can you feel it
Mm.
permeate? And then if you have, there are aspects of you that are sad, lonely, off by yourself, not feeling connected, the kind of young parts of us. In this game, everything's welcome. Can even they feel, sense that this is here? What's it like to be met by John's, by your warm, blissful ecstasy? Okay, we'll just keep bouncing around. And goalie, if anything else comes up to say, because goalie usually inspires all kinds of things for us. If anything comes up, please share. Jenny, what's this? How's it moving in you?
Oh, um, enjoying the stillness and the awareness. And when Vinder brings up the critic and welcoming the critic, a part of me just says, I can't welcome that. um, so there was a bit of a pull in that direction. And then a bit of a wrestling with that, welcoming the critic.
Let's look at that, Jenny. Is it like a
Mhm.
polarity where there's a part? Oh, what a great idea! Let's welcome the critic. And another part's like, are you crazy? If we welcome the critic, this is going to happen. Is it like that
Yes, there's
inside of you?
because there are heavy feelings that come with the critic,
Mhm.
feelings of shame and um, feelings that Well, they just are, and they pass through, right? Um,
Mm. So just, can we all find this inside of our own system? Wow, what Vendor did, what a great idea to to welcome the critic. I'd like to do that too. Can we all find a part that's like likes what Vendor said? Welcome it. We're going to welcome everything. Welcome the critic. And then do you have another part of you that's like, whoa, wait a minute, my critic is really mean. It just, I don't know if I want to fully let that in. And then for all of us, see if you can find those two voices inside of you. We also want to hear from Jack before he leaves on the hour. But it's see if we can find both of those voices inside of us. And then what happens and how in your system are you able to be aware of both of them simultaneously? Do you zoom out? Do you think in? Do you Google Earth? How do you do that? How do you become aware of both of those arisings at the same time? What happens in you, Jenny, as you feel that tension?
yeah, there is a part that falls back that is just like, well, it's here. And it just is. Now it's
True.
here.
Yeah.
And I can feel the space for that. I can feel it right now. I mean, here with all of you, I can feel that.
Mhm.
Rob is contagious.
Oh, it is very restful here, isn't it? It's very peaceful.
Hmm.
Even when Sid's pointing to the words and stuff, it's like I'm so like it feels like the restfulness is turned up to like a 10, and when he's saying the words, they're just kind of just melting into the beingness that's here, the restfulness that's here. It's almost like I don't want to leave the restfulness to entertain the voices of or the commentary, the commentator guy or whatever it is in our heads. It kind of just melts into the beingness because it's turned up so loud. So it's just kind of like this chill, like blissful restfulness, you know? It's kind of like
Hmm.
peace,
Hmm.
this effortlessness, this ease, this feeling of it's already done. It's already done. It's already complete. I can rest now.
That playing in us all. And Jenny, can we pause for just a minute and check with Jack? Then we'll come back to you. I just don't want to lose him before we hear something from Jack. Uh, Jack, what do you have? What's this like hearing all this stuff that Rob's saying? It's already done. What are you making of all this? What's it like in you today?
It feels like a perspective that he's got there. Um, I don't know. Has anybody actually really been in nature? Or you guys all just go out to a park somewhere that's completely protected and groomed, and a wild snake or wild animal could never get anywhere near you, or uh, there's plenty of trees for shade. I mean, I don't know. My viewpoint of nature is not as calm and friendly as maybe some of yours might be. Um, I have a lot of parts that are very, very, I've said this before, very, very um, well, they're the parts that see this all-loving, all-compassionate, boundless, empty-like space, nature of like the very subtle mind with it doesn't feel as necessarily helpful to some of my parts, right? I mean, that sense of awareness would be just as loving and compassion if I ate my way to dying of gangrene of the lower body as it would if I watch my diet and exercise and live a long life without any kind of illness like that. I mean, it's just as compassionate and loving either way. So I can't really let it decide anything, right? Parts are going to decide stuff. So, which how do you decide which
But
part
what's it like,
decides?
Jack? What's it like that place you're describing that sounds just exquisite? The idea that everything is welcomed. If I'm dying of gangrene, or if I'm like blissful, great shape, happy, happiest person, it's all
Right.
being welcomed and loved. What's it like to live it being held that way?
Well, my parts say, no, we're going to pick something. We're going to pick out of that. If we have a choice to pick something, we're going to pick something a little bit brighter future than maybe some other choices. So it's like I don't feel the parts don't feel like they can trust this. Um, feels almost blind. This blind compassion in any kind of way to make any decisions about what should happen in the future at all. So
Yeah,
I'm wrestling with that. I'm wrestling with that.
yeah.
I mean,
Can we all
I've
find
tried
that?
it. I've tried it. Yeah, I've tried just letting various parts take over, and yeah, and blending with various parts, right? There's at least three of them that I've been noticing. One is like, just do whatever you want, eat whatever you want, sleep in if you want, don't worry about anything, right? And there's another one that's like, oh no, no, just put a little effort in and watch yourself a little bit. Things will be a lot better than. There's another part telling me that. And then there's another one that looks in the future and sees me dying of gangrene of the feet if I do certain things. There's all kinds of spiritual masters that have died of gangrene of the feet out there. That's fine for them, but that's not what my parts want. So
Can we touch this? What Jack's pointing to, this problem he's pointing to. Oh, it's all loved. Everything's welcomed. Anything that happens in my system, any thought, any direction I turn, it's all welcomed. It's all okay. It's all causelessly okay. But can we taste that? Can we taste that possibility that Jack's pointing us to? Thank you, Jack. I want to kind of any final points, Jack, before we kind of head back to what Jenny was saying? Anything else?
I'm going to leave in about 3 minutes, so I'd love to hear what people thought about that, I guess, if they think
Or
of anything.
anything bubbling before we go back to Jenny? Anything bubbling? Anything wanting to be shared about what we've been hearing? Anything bubbling?
I like what Jack said. It felt like timeless freedom when he was speaking. It felt like all points of view were the timeless freedom itself. It's like the stainless awareness or stainless consciousness that's always here and it's all welcome. And what was felt too was the relaxing of a doer, seeing that there's no doer, that there's infinite intelligence taking care of everything and things are happening. And it feels like there's not really a doer here making those choices whether I should do this or that. It kind of happening like in an automatic way. It's almost like, but yet I can take whatever's arising. I could take that peace or that knowingness of the stillness of the background of peace that's here, and it'll flow into whatever perceived decisions are happening. It's almost like it's naturally happening without a doer. It's just like unfolding naturally in love, and it makes me think of how to balance that with intention, because it's like when I'm identified with the separate self, it feels like there's like a choice being made or a doership that I should go this way or that way. And the way I navigate that now is if it feels like, if the thought's coming or a decision's coming up, if it feels like expansive and joyful, I'll follow that. But if it feels like contracted or it feels like a lot of efforting and stuff, then I kind of just relax back, you know, and wait to see what unfolds. And then when it feels expansive again, then I re-engage and kind of follow that when it comes to making decisions or things of that nature. That's kind of like what I've been sensing these days.
I don't that point you just made. How does that translate for each of us? What Rob's saying, how he delineates what he moves with. If it's expansive and joyful, oh, I can follow that. But if it's contracted, limited, oh, I'm gonna maybe not. In IFS, we translate that into self and parts, and this even the sense of non-doership, right? If the parts are if the self, the beingness is really loud, it just moves, it just flows.
Mm.
And then we have parts that come up, right? Parts that want, that have lack. just to feel the difference. How does that play in each of us? And we haven't heard from Harold, Haneen, nor Abby yet. And I want to make sure we have plenty of time for everybody. Bye, Jack. And
Hi, Jack. Nice
so why don't
meeting
we
you,
go?
Jack.
Why don't we go around with Harold, and then with Harold, Haneen, and then Abby, and then we'll kind of keep opening up. And Goalie, if you have something that's bubbling, because we didn't get to hear from you yet. Harold, hey Harold, let's.
Before I speak, Sid, you had mentioned coming back to Jenny after talking to Jack, and I wanted to make sure that see if
Thank you.
No, I'm very happy with things moving along. But I will just say that in that, as I spoke, and I just said, well, critic's not here right now, but when it's there, so it's there. And I think maybe rather than a sense of welcoming that, it's not making a decision about it, whether it's good or bad, whether I want it or not. It just is.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
I like that.
How do we translate that into our systems? Well, we're not even welcoming it. It's just what is. It's just here. Isn't that sweet when Jenny said that's just here?
Yeah, love it.
Thanks, Jenny.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow. Harold, it's all you. What you got for us?
me all the time. I started with there was a contracted part and kind of wondering what was going to happen with it. And what showed up was like it wanted to be known. And as soon as it was really recognized as a part, like, oh, you're that part, that in that recognition, it just dissolved. And the clouds parted and the sun was back. It was fascinating to see how, I mean, just really in classic IFS kind of thing of it needed to be met and loved and known, and then it can let go.
Love that.
So it was just sweet. I mean, I've really been experimenting lately with like what's the path when something arises. And this was just a really interesting one.
Well, let me ask.
Bam, it dissolved.
Let me ask everybody a question. In Harold's system, the part came up and it wanted to be known. It's what it was longing for, to be known. In your system, do you have parts that's like, yes, that's what I want. I want to be known. Or do they want different things? Just like we went around and we have 12 different flavors of beingness, like the silence, the stillness, the love, the awareness, the joy. What is it that your parts are wanting? And if you get it right, just like Harold did, he heard it wanted to be known, and once it was known, Shazam, it came back, it was arrested back home. Like, what is it that your parts want? Back to you, Harold. Tell us more.
So no, I mean the crazy thing is when you said if I get it right. So when it's there, there's a part that wants to get it right. Right. And that's actually not helpful because that's an effort and but that somehow the system found its way all by itself. So that part that wants to get it right isn't actually helpful. But the system can somehow find. Rumi's got some line that the solution to the pain is inside the pain, like that the pain is calling out for what it wants, and so kind of give it the time it needs to evoke it, and to trust the system that it will do that. I guess that's what I'm really learning. is to trust the system to bring forward what's called for.
That goes back to somebody's word, trust, today.
Yeah,
I think it was Raymond's word,
it was
trust.
Raymond's, yes. Trust and love, that like those really go together, right? Like, oh, if you trust, then the love, like, boom. And then it happens by itself.
Could we all follow that? Where Harold's like, no, Sid, it's not apart figuring it out what needs to be what it wants. It's different. It's this trust, perhaps this listening and this love. Your final thoughts, Harold?
Said I was going to add whoever it was that said curiosity, like, oh, like the system has its own curiosity that plays itself without me needing to do it.
Thank you.
Sweet space here.
Thank you. Sweet space. Like, what's it like for us to be here? What's it like now for all of us? What's here? What narrative voices do you hear? It's like, whoa, I really appreciate what Harold said. I got to remember that. Like, what's here for you? What's arising? What's it like to be here with the eight of us with you? We're gonna go to Haneen, and then we'll see what Rob has to say in response to this, and we'll have my good friend Abby. But before we go to Haneen, just to tune in, Haneen also often represents a perspective that I so appreciate. For me, she brings it into the somatic for me. It brings it into the senses in our group and expresses it that way. Just notice where she. Hey, Haneen, thanks for being here.
Hi, Sid. Hi, everyone. It's been so much fun. Sweetness, yes, Harold, I agree with you. It's so sweet. It feels very floaty as well, like very light. So I feel like floating on a cloud together, and we're just enjoying such combination of everything here, and everything is just embodied and has importance. Like I really appreciate Jenny's sharing. It felt like it brought clarity. Like it felt like it was like a groundedness and some sense of clarity that I felt was I could very resonate with, and I really enjoyed that a lot, and then appreciate that you shared that.
What's it like in your? What's it like in you? What's it like here?
Such joy just feeling all of the waves. And at the beginning, it wasn't, it almost felt like it was so light that there was nothing here, like no parts. It was just so, whoa, like nothing was felt, like the waves and everything were gone in my system. It couldn't feel much, but it was just that pure, like that openness and that nothingness and everythingness just colliding in oh, it's all just that. There's nothing else to it. Like even the flavors are just in that. It's just all in this oneness that has no flavors, no waves, no anything. And yet it has all of it. It just then started showing its, but it felt like such a, and I can still sense it, like I can still feel it, that it's just full on lightness, full on, I can't, I like, I don't know if that's like it's nothingness and but in such but even beauty would add flavor to it. It's almost flavorless in its most beautiful. Even that would just change it. It's flavorless and yet it just is. It is. So even all the flavors that I'm feeling now on these different dimensions, they're just home.
Flavors, the need is feeling they are home. What's most like that in your system? And maybe you're saying, Sid, stop speaking. All we want to do is feel her need, feel this home, resonate with it. Find the resonance. This being she's offering us. Can you enjoy the contrast between what we're getting here from Anine and what we felt and what we feel in Harold and the way it shows up in Rob? These different flavors. My friend calls it 360-degree satsang. Like we're receiving satsang beingness, flavor of beingness from each of us. What's it like to feel these resonances? Anything else for us, Haneen? What else you have?
Beautiful waves at the same time.
Beautiful waves. What about for each of us? Our waves, our parts that are coming up, our thoughts that are coming up, our critic, like Jenny's that comes up. We all know that critic, our critic that shows up. In Haneen right now, they're all beautiful waves. What's most like that in our system? Maybe it's not beautiful. Maybe there's sense of, oh, they're okay waves, or they're just kind of neutral waves, or I can tolerate these waves. What's it like in your system? The waves, the parts, as we feel what it's like in Haneen, where they're all beautiful waves. Final words, Haneen?
For me, there's also just this clarity here, how inner parts show up in, I mean, it's not, it's inner, but it's just in this wide room. So just seeing everyone's parts popping up and that embodiment vanishes into everyone speaking as me and everyone speaking as this one being where it's just shared and it it brings it together and just it just felt wholesome with everything that was being shared with all the parts with vendor just joyfully smiling here just everything with the pictures the expressions the embodiments what humans appear like plus all the words and the shades and the everything it's just such beautiful such a beautiful play and everything and everyone is just part of it and that's it spreads it into oh I'm on one level I am this embodied being on another level this is it's an appearance and it's just
Yes.
everywhere.
Yeah. But as we hear this from Haneen, everyone speaking as me, a voice of me. What? How do we find that in our own system? What's most like that? The little lines between our squares disappear, or our parts all on stage together. How do we find that? that sense of connectedness, this everyone, this inseparability. How does your system find that? What's that like in you? How do you taste that? And if you can't taste it in your own experience, maybe you just feel into Haneen's, like that tune, that key on the piano. See if you can feel that there. And then we want to save some time for Abby, but before we do, I'd love to hear what's bubbling with Rob, Goalie, Raymond, anything bubbling for us.
Yes, the infinite, when she was talking about the waves and the ocean, feels like there's like an infinite ocean of beingness here, and there's waves, that are coming, maybe different appearances, different points of view that are coming into this infinite ocean or on this infinite ocean as this infinite ocean is part of it. And it feels like it's just flowing through, coming up, and then it's collapsing right into this infinite ocean of love. So feeling that flow and that unity consciousness that's here, this oneness of this flow of this infinite ocean of the waves being included in that as that, just feeling the flow of it all, the gentleness of it all of it, just all of it, just flowing through in this infinity into this timeless awareness that we all are.
You know, and Raymond had something popping up too.
Yes, Sid. As much as there's no doing here, it is a bit like kung fu. It's like what Bruce Lee said. So I'm hearing a lot, and I apply this to my own experience. Harold really highlighted this for me. So, what is the art of fighting the mind without fighting the mind? It's exactly what we've been talking about. So, the art of fighting without fighting is seeing. Not touching, not handling, not tasting, to Haneen's flavourless thing. No handling, tasting, touching, just seeing. And that's the little bit of kung fu, because that does take some practice of presence, which we all are, but we're not always used to. We're always practicing thinking, not practicing presence. So don't fight the mind, watch it.
Thank you. Thank you, Raymond. Goalie, you got anything to add before we jump to Abby?
Yes, I loved what Hanin said. I mean, I could feel her so clearly. It was beautiful. And to me, I mean, from the point of view of the being itself, I don't see separate people. Like we all are happening in including this person in the being, which is all whole, and we all are like parts in like if you imagine I am separate and I deal with my part, this is the whole, um embodying in different parts. And if I as a separate person am triggered with someone separate from me, it's like that part that's calling me to love that part. Like if I don't like someone's point of view, for example, that is my part that is calling me. It says, "Love me. I am here. Realize me." And when I realize it, it goes away, and I'm whole again. I am becoming the being, the complete being. Yeah, that's all I have to say. So thank you, though. Thank you, everyone. It's beautiful, really.
Min and I are like, yeah, that's it.
Wow. Ooh. How are we all as we got a special treat because we haven't heard anything from Abby. And many of you don't even know Abby. She hasn't been around for a while. She helped me. She also helped me with we all. She's a therapist with all of this too. We spent a lot of time together, and I'm so glad she's here. Hey Abby, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't know what I want to add. I was thinking about Jack's kind of thinking between, do you run with a part or do you sit back in the wholeness where, you know, there might be a sense that it doesn't matter one way or the other. I've been really playing with intention and then leaving my parts alone. So what is it like to set an intention and then see what happens? And then sometimes I reflect on it and think, I don't know, what do my parts think was missing today? And noticing if that comes up with any criticism, but kind of maybe not even loving that critic part, just noticing, oh, there's a bit of criticism in response to that, with an understanding that things will happen when my parts are unified about them. And a lot of that is nothing to do with me. It happens somewhere else. So I can keep setting intentions and I can think about virtue and the health of this body, and I can play with ideas about how I might want things to unfold, and I can and then I just have to leave it alone, and it's very light. It's a nice way of playing with, is there any willpower here at all, you know? What's, you know, can I get in there and have a little bit, maybe? And then I'll see what happens, and it will be a surprise. It's mostly been quite a good surprise.
How does that translate to each of our systems, what Abby's describing, this lightness? Like kind of letting it be, having an intention, letting it all be, this lightness of being. Does that translate into your systems?
So what I'm
Anything
feeling
else?
here is Abby's, I don't know, when she was talking, it was like an adorableness about her disposition, about her energy, the way that she was flowing. Almost felt like, you know, this like little shyness that was coming forward, and this expression. It was very authentic, very real. I really felt the authenticity of that, and just the vulnerability that she put out there. You know, I really felt that vulnerability here, and the courage. I felt courage. I felt oneness with her. I felt you know, very unit. The flow of it, the energy of it was just beautiful.
What's it like to be seen that way, Abby? Like just you get to
My
be.
shy part really likes being called adorable.
Your energy is adorable.
Oh,
I sat in Jeremy DeTolle's Radiant Voices class he did for a community. He talked about talking in a group, and he just said, it's not nothing, is it? Like I have a little part that says I'm doing it and it's not nothing.
well,
Love that.
we got like 7 minutes left, and I'd like to leave some time for Rob to kind of bring it all together and close it in his words and what he is as our special guest co-host today. And just let me say what I always say. Just I love how we co-created this. See if that lands. Like what we each shared as we co-created this. This wasn't Sid or Rob or Harold. It was all of us. All of our gifts, all of our beauty, all of our, what was the word, Rob? Adorable. All of our adorableness. All of that. Just look around. It's like, oh, what a treat to get to be together from around the planet right here, right now. And I'd love to, these last 5 minutes, 6 minutes, it's like Rob to maybe just share whatever's coming about this experience, what this is like for you, what you're seeing, or whatever gifts you want to leave us. And I'd also love if you would tell us about this. If anybody is wanting support, this mirror session he does is really amazing, and he's got hundreds of YouTubes. And Rob, all you.
Well, Sid, first of all, I'm going to say thank you very much for having me on, and I've really been enjoying having you in my circles as well. It's very welcome. The thing about Sid, you guys are really lucky to have Sid. He's very, very genuine. I don't know. He's got a really good skill, really good ability with leading groups and bringing out everything and everybody. I just felt very relaxed on this call, and I sense that your group seems very relaxed. They're very vulnerable. They open up. They share intimacies. I just think it's great to create a culture like that. And I think that you do a beautiful job in that. And that's really a gift that you have in leading groups. And anyone that really comes in contact with you or is part of anything that you're doing is really special to be part of that. And just we're so grateful for that opportunity to even be in your presence and having you as a friend. I love just even just calling you up and I'm in my convertible blasting the radio and Sid and I will just sit there and sing together and celebrate life and have fun. And Sid's great. He'll pick up the phone or he'll call me out of the blue and we'll just be spontaneous and have fun. And it's just a reflection of who Sid is. And on the deeper level of what everyone is and just seeing the flavors and the expressions of consciousness on this call, and seeing how sometimes, consciousness wants to pretend that it has, it has all these problems or all these things it needs to do. But at the same time, there's just a seeing this, Sid, like it's a problem I have. I can't help it. I see everyone as whole and complete. I see them as the infinite being. It's almost like it feels like here that consciousness is playing some kind of game or something where it wants to play like being the separate person. It wants to play that, that it's broken somehow, or that needs to be fixed, or that it has to continue to keep searching or seeking for something. When the truth is right here, right now, and what's seen here is that everyone on this call is already self-realized. They realize what their true nature is. I can tell just by the way that they're speaking. Everyone here is that already. I mean, the search is really over for everyone here on your call. They already know who and what they are. They know that they're this pristine, infinite being, this flawless beingness, and they recognize that they're having this human experience. And someone mentioned it earlier on the call about words, how words are important. And what came up for me was when I was listening to The Greatest Secret by Rhonda Byrne, David Bingham, who was a spiritual teacher. He said on that call, they had a lot of spiritual teachers and things on that call. What resonated with me was he said that you are the infinite being having a human experience. And when he had said that, those words just pointed to something in my direct experience. It's almost like a remembrance of knowing what I am, that I am this infinite being, that I am whole, that I am complete, that the search is over in the sense that I know what I am. And then there comes this inner conviction that you have that you know what you are. You know that you're worthy. You know that you are the infinite being and you are having this human experience. So you acknowledge the human experience. You welcome everything that's coming in. It's just that it's not taken out of proportion. It's equally arising. It's not giving so much importance to those things and realizing that as the infinite being, when you know that you're whole and you're complete, any descriptions that come up with the mind or the thoughts that say different, you kind of see through them, you know? You don't take them as being so true to you, but yet you recognize it and you see it and you feel it. I mean, you feel all emotions. It's not like you don't, you still feel it, but there's kind of more of like a lightness to it and a knowingness of what you truly are as the expansive awareness or the infinite being or the stillness or the love or whatever words you want to give to what I'm talking about. And you'll know what this is. Your intuition knows what this is. And the last thing I'll leave with is that everyone's intuition has led them this far. It's done a great job. It will continue to lead you. You know, your intuition alone can lead you. Even if there was no one here expressing this, if you were alone somewhere in a forest, you would know what this is. Your intuition knows. Because the thing is, it's really as easy because it's already what you are, what you're looking for. There's so much truth in that. You are what you're looking for. This beingness, you can't stop being now. This effortless being that you are, it's already whole. It's already complete. It's already here. So there's a relaxation in knowing that everything's being taken care of. There's an infinite intelligence doing it all. So then there's a trust, a relaxation in life and seeing life, lifing. And what a beautiful time I had with everyone here. Thank you so much, Sid. Much love. Much love for everyone.